I always think it's weird when they give like phobia to things that you're supposed to be afraid of. Like I always think of phobia as like
homophobia.
Oh, well, everybody's heard about the bird.
Oh shit! What was I gonna say? Oh, the
We're talking about fucking corpses,
dead people, fucking corpses, necrophilia.
Woody's mother-in-law throwing her in the garbage.
Mother-in-law being dead. Huh. I don't know what I was gonna say. I had something funny.
Doing what? He's gotten much better at this.
I've been playing a little.
Do you want to talk about earthquakes? I know nothing. I'll need
I don't
some
know anything
leading.
either. It just seems like there's an earthquake every day.
But it's in Nepal. Are they even real people?
Oh, I don't care about those earthquakes.
Oh my god, I'm gonna say this out loud. It just seems when a country of poor people die, you're like, eh.
Oh my god! Look at Kyle sinking down in his seat.
Come on. Everyone listening is thinking the same thing. Like, oh, yeah, like, I don't know, if all of a sudden, like, Ghana opened up and the sandworms killed a bunch of people.
Fucking eject.
I remember as a kid reading that passage, like, in Sunday school, and, like, trying, like, step by step, be like, okay, 10 horns. We got 10 horns. We got 6 heads. Okay, how do we divide this? So all of them can't have...
No, each head has 10 horns.
Out of 4 each have 1. Right?
All right, keep it symmetrical. All right.
Well, that's 8 horns. Good. I'm screwing this up. We need to have the middle 3 with 2 horns, and then just the outer 2.
Okay, sure. Do I have that in my head? Okay.
Penis still works whether she wants it or not. I feel like, I feel like we've evolved to be a bit rapey, just like all the other animals.
You know,
like orangutans.
I have to be very careful about rape.
Ducks,
apparently
very rapey. Otters, very rapey.
But
squirrels.
Kyle's not crazy on this, I think.
Have you ever tried orchestrating a 3-way with 2 dogs? You can't keep them, you know?
It takes jars of peanut butter to keep them interested. Okay, so...
It's just out there, you know?
Right, Woody?
They look through the man's phone.
That.
Where
I gotta stop for
this is the answer that you're looking for.
Okay.
They look for the man's phone and they found videos of the dogs giving her oral sex while she masturbates.
I got some new shoes. This isn't really much of a topic, but it's sitting right here next to me. And I'm
got new shoes.
And I'm very happy with this shoe I got. I
like those.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. What have you been wearing them with? Your stretchy
they're
jeans?
Brand new. No, see, these are brand new. I just got these today. I haven't had a chance to even break them in, but they got that new.
Can you feel like the Cambodian effort that went into that?
These are Steve Madden's. These were made in China.
Oh, we make a Steve Madden shoe here.
A good segue. I guess this is kind of an I'm an asshole moment, but the truth is I am an asshole.
I'll be the judge.
So like you don't need to ponder whether or not I am an asshole. Let's just begin with I'm an asshole and go from there.
Okay.
Okay, so I drive about 10 or 12 minutes to a restaurant, Zaxby's, to get some food for myself and Kitty. It's a very simple order. I'd like a number 1 combo with a Coke. I'd like a number 2 combo also with a Coke. And in addition, 1 order of onion rings, sir.
And something
Out
for
there.
Kitty.
Well,
the
onion rings are actually for Kitty. She really likes the onion rings. I don't love them so much. So he's like, I can't hear you through the window and everything. He's having lots of problems with his headset or something. He just can't hear me, can't get the order. So he's just like, all right, pull around. And I'm already behind cars. So it's like, well, I'll just sit here and wait next to the speaker that apparently doesn't work. So that didn't make me mad at all. I didn't care a bit about that. Got to the window. Big fat cunt. Big fat motherfucker. This dude is huge. Big fat motherfucker. And he's real bad at his job. He's got an effeminate voice. He's like, I just don't know what I'm doing with this headset. And he's just like, he can't make my drinks. Like he can't. So like this really hot girl comes over. She starts making the drinks. I don't care about fatso anymore. I'm more interested in the cute girl. I'm like, I'm going to have to come back here more often. This girl's really pretty. She gives me my drinks. Eventually he gets my food to me. I leave. I get almost to the on-ramp of the interstate, and I'm like, let me slide my fast food into this. I have a heat bag that zips up that keeps the food warm because it's a 10-minute drive and it's Kitty's food. So let me slide my food into its heat bag and zip it up. Oh, shit. Only 2 plates of food. Should have been 3. Where are my onion rings? So I go back. Get back in the drive-through line. Not really mad at all. This shit happens. It's fast food. Get to the window. Get to the speaker. Hey, can I take your order? It's like, just here to pick up the onion rings that you left out. Okay, pull around. I really don't have much of a choice. So I sit there through the line again, 6 or 8 cars, get to the window. No apology at all. No apology at all. He just kind of hands me these onion rings.
Like you're annoying him.
Yeah.
Like you inconvenienced him.
So I take the onion rings, go on my way. Didn't give me any straws for my drinks either time. Get to the exit of Zaxby's, about to pull into the highway, and I'm like, you know what? These feel a little light. These onion rings feel a little light. Because, like, at Zaxby's, if you order onion rings, you get, like, 30 rings. Like, they fill a styrofoam plate up that's, like, this big. It's, like, it's rectangular. It's longer than it is wide. They give you a bunch. There's always leftover, and they're really good onion rings. Pop the top. Let's check these out. There's about 8 of them in there. About 8 fucking onion rings in my box. He's wasted too much of a time now. It's been half an hour on this journey, and haven't even started on my way home. And I'm just like, all right, that's it. Put the car in reverse. Just like back into a parking space. I'm going in. Go in with my onion rings, and I'm just a boiling vessel of rage. And there's a pretty girl though, and I'm like, hey, is your manager here? I need to speak to someone. He's like, I can help you. I was like, really want to talk to the manager. And I hear someone in the back, and she goes like, Karen, someone wants you. And a 22-year-old girl with braces comes out. See, already there will be no satisfaction had here today unless I earn it. So I say to her, hey, these are my onion rings. I had to go through the line twice. This is my 3rd trip back here. That's not a full order of onion rings. That guy's really bad at his job. He's not able to take the orders or even get them straight, and he doesn't know the menu. And he gives me a look. And I didn't like the look. And I said, that's right, fat boy.
You said that?
Bad at your job. And she acted like I called him a nigger or a kike or started talking about the Third Reich or something. She was like, whoa! Whoa! And I'm like, what? I didn't know they made uniforms that big. Oh, wait, they don't! Because his uniform is stretched over his enormous body. And he turns away then. No more smirk from his smart ass. And she's like, you get back here. I got a thing or two to say to you. And I'm like, good night, braces. Because she had braces on. I guess that was a bit of a slut. Good night, braces. And I left. And I don't think I can ever go back to Zaxby's after that.
Now who's mean to wait staff? Huh?
Did
they mess up your order? Did they make you wait too long? Huh? Who's mean to wait staff now, Kyle?
I'm always, I will be incredibly mean to wait staff if they fuck me over like 2 or 3 times. You have more of a spontaneous rudeness.
Even though I'm right-handed, I learned to use my left hand, and because I needed my dominant hand to hold the magazine, which is something that I think kids nowadays don't get. And then I broke my right arm in a car accident, and I had to relearn the art with my other hand. And I think ever since then I've just stayed righty.
Well, that certainly is a story.
She murdered her infant, or let her infant be murdered. That's crazy. Come on, she did it.
If my rule was never stick your dick in crazy, I'd have to be gay.
Have I told you guys about when I worked at Ben & Jerry's for one day?
No.
I want to hear more.
Okay, so I was 16. I had just got my license, and it was summer, and my dad was like, you got to get a job. You're not going to sit around and be a piece of shit all summer. You got to go get a job. And so I just went around, applied everywhere I could find, eventually found a Ben & Jerry's that was near my house. And I was like, okay, this will be cool. I'll just serve people ice cream, whatever.
So
and
is this a storefront or like a factory job?
Oh, no, this was like the person who scoops your ice, like the front end person who's asking what kind of ice cream do you want. So it was that kind of position, just the scooper. And I went in there. I was going to fill out the job application, and an older woman who looked like a fucking hippie behind the counter was like, oh, you applying for a job? I was like, yeah. She's like, oh, you seem like a really good guy. You seem like a good guy. Come on back. We'll talk about it. And I was like, all right. Didn't even have to fill this one out. And so walked back the same day. Just as that was happening, she was like, okay, well, just stick around for a while. You seem like a good fit here. You seem like a good fit. We'll have you stick around. How about you start making some waffle cones? So, like, 20 minutes after I walked into this fucking Ben & Jerry's, I was making waffle cones, and, like, I thought I had a job. And so I talked to my dad on the phone and was like, all right, Dad, I got a job at Ben & Jerry's. You know, I finally found one. Good for me. And I just kept making waffle cones for the next 6 hours at this place. They had me make waffle cones for like 6 hours. Like, I worked a full shift at this fucking Ben & Jerry's. I thought I was employed. And then near the end of this situation, I was leaving, and they're like, okay, yeah, we'll call you about it, definitely. And I was like, whoa, I just made waffle cones for 6 hours here. Like, I just served people. I did everything I need to do for this job. And you're telling me you'll call me about it? And they were like, yeah, we'll call you about it. Okay, we'll let you know. You know, you're definitely going to get it, though. You're definitely going to get it. As if it's some big deal. Scooping ice cream like you're going to make the cut. And so I went home, and I got the lady's number individually, and I called her back the next day. And I called her the day after. And I called her the day after. And eventually I drove back to that location because the theater was right near there, and I was going with some friends, so I figured I'd stop in and talk to this lady and ask, why the fuck haven't I been paid for the 6 hours of work I did for free making waffle cones for you? And why haven't you called me back telling me I have a job? And I pull up near the Ben & Jerry's, and they're closed. They went out of business the day that they offered me a job.
I think you suck at making waffle cones.
Yeah, when she did call me back, it wasn't even like oh, we're sorry we misled you. It was like oh, yeah, you know, sometimes it doesn't go the way you want. And I was like, what? That's not an answer. This isn't
That's awful.
anything.
What a cunt.
Yeah, it was awful. It was awful. Worked for 6 hours for free, didn't get any ice cream, and didn't get a job that summer.
If one day someone comes up to you and they ask you a question, you have to say, oh, yeah, that's down there beyond the river. And then, like, the next day you wake up and the day feels oddly familiar. And then you get to that same place and that person comes up and asks you a different question, but it wasn't the right different question. So you have to say, oh, it's right down over there by the river. You know, and that's your NPC hell, where you just have to hope that the PC asks the right question.
My knee's been injured for weeks, right?
Free you.
Could I have taken an arrow?
What game would you most want to be a non-playable character in?
Fuck you all. That's funny shit right there. Fuck every one of you.
Very good.
Now that means that Taylor and I are going to Georgia, and I'll have to sync up with the boys.
I came here to party, but I'm starting to miss my bed.